Hey peeps, it's Angie Mode here, and I'm just here to share an article that I found by Michelle MacFarlane, the shopping friend, on her blog called How to Make More Money with How You Dress. Have you ever wondered whether or not improving the way that you dress would help you earn more money? Well, Michelle says that it can, and she has some real life examples to prove it. Let's get started. There's an entrepreneur who spent $162,301 on clothes and made an extra $692,500 in revenue. Ignore my typo, it is 692.5, I promise. A businessman who spent under $10,000 on clothes and got a business partnership deal and $50,000 up front. A business owner who dressed up, changed the way his employees presented themselves, and started to see growth in his business right away. A woman who escaped an abusive relationship and found herself alone with a child and no work skills. She was surprised with a wardrobe upgrade from NBC. Hey, I wonder how nice that was. She immediately landed a new part time job, started a company teaching etiquette to young kids, and with her new swagger, landed a new boyfriend as well. Sounds like it was a pretty nice wardrobe, wouldn't you say? So, those are four examples right there. These four people have all upgraded their lifestyle and started earning more money because they upgraded their wardrobe. Now we're going to talk about each of these examples individually, and she's going to go ahead and give us links to be able to read each of these people's articles as well. So yes, it's true. You can earn more money by improving the way you dress. You're not supposed to judge people by their appearance, right? And yet we do. You do. It's the first thing you see about others and the first thing others see about you. Studies show a better image leads to more money. More and more studies are showing that a stylish and polished image leads to improved self esteem, higher job investments, more money, and more people wanting to be around you, either professionally or personally, or both. Michelle says, as a personal stylist, I have had an inside track on how an improved image has improved people's lives, from acquiring more clients in business to getting promoted to increased confidence in dating, which led to marriage, and so on. Every time I have checked in with clients to see how their new wardrobes are treating them, I have always gotten back news on how it helped them get a raise or more clients or helped them with their relationships or just brought them renewed energy and confidence in themselves without fail. Clothes are a big deal. So, as much as I'd love to say that clothes aren't a big deal and people don't judge books by their covers, I would be leading you in the wrong direction if I said that. Nice clothes that flatter you matter. They will improve your life in ways you never would have thought of. One client of mine reported back to me a month after we did a huge closet makeover. She was a lawyer and already a partner at her law firm, so she wasn't really looking for improvements professionally. And she was already happily married, so she wasn't in the dating scene trying to find the one. She hired us because she was tired of feeling not put together and plain. What she told me was astonishing. One afternoon at lunch, some women complimented her shoes and Chanel's suit, which led to a quick conversation about what she did. They ended up becoming valuable new clients. Her husband loved her new clothes that she wore around the house, and her happier attitude made him feel good. That he planned a romantic surprise trip for the two of them. Woo! Something he hadn't done in years. And she said that she got hit on so many times that month. She felt like a new person. She couldn't believe it. That was all in 1 month. Attractive quality clothes can change your life. You don't necessarily need to spend a ton of money. You just need to know how to choose the right pieces. You might even have great hidden pieces in your closet that you already own. If you don't know how to discover great pieces on your own, a good professional image consultant can lead you in the right direction. People believe what they see. If people think you look successful, in their eyes, you are successful. Over the last 12 months, I've acquired a new addiction: shopping. This is okay. This is an example. So this is our first gentleman, Neil Patel's story from his article. He's the gentleman that spent $162,301.42 on clothing and made $692,500 in revenue because of it. And I will put links in the comments so that you guys can check out those articles as well as linking to this very article that Michelle MacFarlane wrote as well. So I'm going to start over with his story. Over the last 12 months, I've acquired a new addiction: shopping. And it's not because I love clothes. The reality is, I don't care for them at all. At home, I walk around in .com t-shirts and basketball shorts because it's super comfortable. If it were up to me, I would wear that all day, including in business meetings. But over the last 12 months, I've noticed that when I dress nicer, I seem to get larger business deals. Mainly it's because people assume that I'm well off based on how well I dress. Funnily enough, I've done all right for a while now, but it's only in the last 12 months that I've been dressing extremely well. I've always dressed somewhat decently because I've learned that it builds trust and credibility. And dressing well helps grow my consulting rate from $100 to over $1,000, all because of clothes. How much money are you guys leaving on the table, do you think? I thought it would be a fun experience to take wardrobe to the extreme and see what spending six figures on clothes would do for my business. It sucks because I would have rather spent the $162,301.42 on a charity than clothes. But I know I need to grow my business as it will make me more money in the long run. This will allow me to donate more money to charity. True that. I have been tracking every meeting I attend for the last 4.5 years. I have a big Excel sheet with my closing ratios, average pitch price, company name, people within the meetings, their job titles, etc. What I realized is that when I started to dress extremely nicely, the people in these meetings felt I was extremely successful. For that reason, they wanted to be associated with me. And it's helped to increase my closing ratio from 25% to roughly 40%. That means out of every 10 meetings, four result in the company signing up with me now. That's a huge difference, you guys. And he says the difference is huge. It was so huge that financially it brought in an extra $692,500 in revenue. Woo! That's a huge house right there. It's especially astounding considering that nothing else changed. Not my pitch, not the prices, and not even the type of companies I was meeting with. The only difference was the clothes. So she says you could read the rest of Neil Patel's article, how spending that god awful long number on clothes made me that god awful long number in revenue. Big numbers, guys. That's on a big level right there. Just it amazes me. And yet it doesn't, because I know this. Like how we present ourselves to the world, it matters so much. So I'm going to put a link in the comments so that you guys can check that out. Let's go ahead and flip the page here. Nice clothes will bring you opportunities you could never imagine. This is Mike's story. Mike spent a bit under $10,000 on clothes, and now he dresses well. Mike came from a car dealership world, and he specializes in sales and sales management. After attending a few tech events dressed like the image above, oh, there's a picture of Mike and he's all dressed snazzy in his little brown mocha colored suit. Looks kind of silky too. Let's see. Mike found that people started coming up to him and asking him what he did. While attending tech events, he consistently got compliments on his clothes, and a few of those people hired him to help them build their sales teams and fine tune the process. He did this on a revenue sharing model, excuse me, and it worked so well that he started to hit six figures in monthly income. Now, you may say that he could have gotten the same results with his old clothes, but he didn't. He has always been a confident and outgoing person, but when he approached people at tech events in a t shirt and jeans, the people were nice to him, but no one wanted to work with him. Why? Because they felt he wasn't successful. To make the experiment even more interesting, Mike recently purchased a Lamborghini. Like most of us would do, he decided to drive it for a bit and post a few pictures of it online. Can you guess what happened after he did that? He received 107 Facebook requests from business owners. Most of them wanted him to invest in their businesses, but five of them offered Mike a portion of their business in exchange for advice. Mike moved forward with one of the companies, which is also providing him with a $50,000 upfront fee for his time. Wow. This is also Neil Patel's article, and she's going to link that, or I'm going to link that for you. I lied. Oh no, this is Paulo. Oh, sorry. This is Marcos Paulo de Andrade's article. How spending more money on clothes will make you richer. It is cited wrong in the actual blog post. Did I go too far? No. Yes. Sorry, guys. I went a little too far here. Let me go back here. Okay. It's all about the first impression. For many years, I wondered why businessmen were always looking very sharp with their suits, wrinkle free shirts, and impeccable shoes. Do they get bored of wearing a nice tie every day? I bet, just like you and me, many of these businessmen prefer to wear a more relaxed outfit and would rather enjoy their day on pajamas instead of a suit and tie. What many of these men don't won't tell you is that one of their ways of making more money and getting more business deals is actually by dressing up. If you stop to think for a second, you will realize that this makes more sense than you ever thought. It's all about the first impression. Unfortunately, in our society, you need to play with with their rules, and how you look is a big part of this game, just as the way you introduce yourself, your gestures, eye contact, etc. If you are able to show credibility to the person next to you, you can make a lot of money. If you want to make more money in business or grow in the company that you work for, you need to show that you are not sloppy. One day, I showed up at a Mercedes dealership to buy a new car for me and my wife. I approached the seller's desk and I asked if I could take a look at one of the cars that they had. She quickly responded to me, "Do you know how much that car costs?" I knew that she meant that I didn't look like someone that could buy a new Mercedes at her store. I just realized that was the why that was when my wife mentioned to me, if we came in here dressed up all nice, she would have treated us differently. Long story short, I left the place with the car sold by another seller. That was my wake up call, and I started testing what difference would the way I dress make in life. The result was success. I showed up at business interviews dressed up better, and I presented myself like a big company instead of a small business from town. I changed the way my employees presented themselves as well. I made them wear uniforms, drive the company cars, which had the company's logo on it, etc. And I started to see a growth on my business right away. Even though most of the times I priced my jobs higher than most companies, my customers felt more secure using my company because their first impression of me and the company was better than the other guys. That's awesome. And I will drop a link to that article below as well. So it's all about the first impression. You're able to show credibility to the person sitting next to you. You can make a lot of money. If you want to make more money or grow a company that you work for, you cannot show up sloppy lest you are perceived as sloppy. Yes, indeed. I just had to repeat that. It's very important. All right, our next example here. Clothes definitely make the man or woman seen and known. A number of independent studies maintain that clothing can affect a first impression dramatically. Is it possible then to determine how someone is paid based on what they wear? For men, the answer is nearly always yes, according to a 2011 salary report from PayScale. That's kind of an old report, isn't it? For women, the answer is more complex. According to some studies, dress doesn't influence higher income for women as much as it helps to ensure security in their current roles. Forbes writer Laura Sinberg warns that dressing too sexy can make a woman seem less competent. Mary Ann escaped an abusive relationship and found herself alone in Southern California with a child and no work skills. Then she was surprised on a NBC morning news show in San Diego with a wardrobe upgrade. She immediately landed a new part time job, started a company teaching etiquette to young kids, and with her new swagger, landed a new boyfriend as well. Every person who gets an image makeover reports increased self esteem and greater trust and respect after changing their image. In all, it's clear that the way you dress can affect your income. So, how is your current image and wardrobe supporting your ability to command optimal pay? How is it supporting your ability to command optimal pay right now? Are you guys dressing for the job that you have that you want to portray? Are you dressing for the income and salary that you want to be earning? That could be the very thing holding you back from meeting your goals, your financial goals. You can read the rest of that article in Forbes.com. Can dressing well increase your income? Go ahead and change this page. Here we go. In a perfect world, your performance is all that would matter. But we don't live in a perfect world, do we? Shouldn't how well I do my job matter more than how I look? I asked. In a perfect world, your performance is all that would matter, he said. But we don't live in a perfect world. Take my advice. If you want to be promoted into a certain position, make sure you look like the people in that position. Pay attention to them, watch them, study them. If you want to be like them and you want to be in their shoes, in their spot, you need to understand their shoes and go get them. I've hired and promoted people who looked the part and they turned out to be all show and no go. I've hired and promoted people who didn't look the part at all and they turned out to be superstars. I'm convinced that how you look and at least to a large degree how you act has nothing to do with your skill and talent and fit for the job. Still, he's right. The world isn't perfect. People still make assumptions about us based on irrelevant things like clothing and mannerisms and height and weight and age and gender and ethnicity and tons of other qualities and attributes that have absolutely no bearing on a person's performance. You could read the rest of this article, Jeff Hayden's article. Does how you dress and look impact your career? Sadly, yes, in the link I'll drop below. How you dress is important for your communication. At a lecture about personal branding and appearance, I asked 80 people to describe what a typical professor, computer hacker, and high school art teacher looked like. Not surprisingly, the answers didn't vary all that much. It became obvious that uniforms, however stereotypical, were not limited to those of French maids and parking attendants. Did you know that even we tend to have uniforms as moms, as teachers, as firefighters, of course, firefighters, as anything, soccer moms, as soccer dads, as fantasy football dads, like they all tend to have a uniform. It may not be the same uniform, but it's the same type of things over and over again. Advertising executives and art directors have a look too. Take a unexpected step away from your working context, such as sporting a bodice ripping outfit at a conservative bank, for instance, and professionalism, competency, and judgment may well come into question, right? Inappropriate. It's about trust and credibility. The reptilian part of our brain tells us to trust what we see more than any other sense and trust what the person is wearing. Several well known studies from the 1960s involving lab coats, prison guard uniforms, and electric shocks show we are more likely to rely on uniforms as an indicator of expertise and authority than not. At the end of the day, I think most of us would share a moment of doubt if the pilot of the transatlantic flight you were about to board showed up for work in juicy couture jogging pants. Hey, that's cool with me. Call me shallow, but I'd sooner trust the uniform. If only for the fact that most uniforms are uncomfortable enough to keep people awake. You can read the rest of that article. Um, Annika Shelley's article on Forbes.com, Are You Dressing the Part for Your Job? In the link that I'll drop below as well. So now let us discuss your image goals. Are you ready to refresh your wardrobe, look put together, and feel confident with your outfits? We can help. Find out more about working one on one with a personal stylist and how they can take your wardrobe to the next level. Is the Fashion Rebel a good fit for my styling needs? I will give you a free 15-minute phone consult or a virtual consult. We could do it over Zoom or we could do it over the telephone. Your choice. Where we will discuss your goals, which I'm guessing your goals are in some way, shape, or form to move onward and upward in your job, career, and relationships to improve your life, I would say. But we'll talk all about that and I'll let you answer those questions. So, if that's your goal, then my goal is to facilitate your image evolution with improvements in your wardrobe. That is what I can do for you. And I would love, love, love to dress you. Um, I live for it and I want to help you make more money. If you're an entrepreneur and you have a photo shoot coming up or an event coming up or even like scheduled Facebook lives every month, I can do things like um, extended like retainer fees where you could have me for 3 months, 6 months, give me everything on your calendar and we'll dress you for it, things like that. Or I could dress you for like a single event. It's totally up to you. Or we could do a total reinvention of your style or just a seasonal refreshing of your style for trends and new seasonal clothing that comes in. Um, Bunch of things like that. I offer a lot of services. If you're interested in a free consultation with me, please go to my Facebook page now, hit my link tree in my bio, and click on the consult tab. And then you just fill out those questions and then shoot it on over to me. And then I'll send you a calendar to schedule your first consult. And that's just about 15 to 20 minutes of us chatting about your goals, your style goals, and where you're at today, and what you'd like to get out of this, and some of your preferences and dislikes. And then I let you know what I can do for you and recommend a package that I think would work best for your needs. And from there, we just keep trucking right along and going through the process. Okay, I'm going to let you all go. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of Michelle MacFarlane's blog post. Michelle is the shopping friend. She's a stylist and she also has a style school online where she teaches stylists how to become professional stylists online. All right. Have a great day. Bye bye now.